What's going on, guys? Welcome to another video here on Film Vet. I am Rylan, one of your vets, and we are continuing our reviews of the 4th season of the TV show Sherlock. Now, there will be a few slight spoilers of the past episode, episode 1, so if you haven't seen that, might not want to listen to this part, but we won't spoil anything major from the current episode, episode 2. So if you watched episode 1, you saw that Watson's wife, Mary, was killed at the end of the episode, and that he blames Sherlock for the fact that that happened in the first place. So there's some tension between the two of them going into this episode. Other than that, all you really need to know is that a new villain or antagonist is being introduced by the name of Cloverton Smith, and this is definitely one of the best villains on Sherlock up to date. I don't know if I can say he's as good as Jim Moriarty. That's really hard to top, but he definitely is a good addition to the cast. We also meet a couple of other characters in this episode, but we won't talk too much about them. All you need to know is that this is one of the best episodes of Sherlock to date. It is thrilling, it is full of great twists, the acting is top-notch, and the ending is probably my favorite ending of any Sherlock episode so far. Let's get into some of the details. As usual, Benedict Cumberbatch and Martin Freeman bring it as Sherlock and Watson. They both play very good in their roles, Benedict being, of course, very charismatic and eccentric, Martin Freeman having that more subtle approach. Although in this episode, they both kind of go outside of their regular boxes quite a bit. Sherlock tends to be a little bit more manic. He's struggling with some of the demons of his past pretty heavily in this episode, and so we kind of see him kind of break out a little bit, and the same can be said for Watson. Now that he's dealing with the tragedy of losing Mary, we see him also kind of get up to the edge, and that is a great way to describe this episode. It is very edgy, it is very intense, almost from beginning to end. The editing in this particular episode, although it's always good in Sherlock, is especially good, especially eye-catching. There's several sequences that kind of try to show Sherlock's thought process whenever he's on substances, something that he's been known to struggle with at certain times in the past. And in this episode, that theme is very prevalent, and it's really cool how they use the editing in this episode to kind of take us through that mental journey that Sherlock is on. As I said earlier, Cloverton Smith is a great addition to the cast. He plays it, the actor plays it very mysterious, but also creepy. You always know something is up with him, but you're never quite sure exactly what it is until you get further into the episode. And I cannot say it enough, the twists in this episode are absolute nail-biters. I personally watched this episode with my wife, and we were both sitting on the bed like just clutching, going, oh my gosh, what's going to happen? The whole episode does a great job of constantly making you guess about who's up to what and what exactly is going on with each of the characters, because there is so much distrust among them in this episode, which really adds to the suspense and the mystery. Having said all of those great things about the episode, I will say it is hard for me in this particular episode to find anything that I didn't like. The only thing I would say, without spoiling anything, is that Sherlock doesn't seem to be aware of something in the episode that it seems like he would be aware of normally, like it kind of slips his mind, which usually that kind of thing wouldn't happen to Sherlock. So that was a little weird. You'll know what I'm talking about once you've watched the whole episode. But other than that, this is personally my favorite episode of Sherlock. So when it comes to rating, I might be exaggerating here, but I've thought about it a lot, and I'm going to give it a 9.75 out of 10. I can't quite go up to 10 just because of that one little element that in review I thought, oh, that seems kind of odd that wouldn't be noticeable to Sherlock. So other than that, the episode is super thrilling. It is intense. It is suspenseful. The acting is better than it's ever been. And the ending of this particular episode hits the emotional beats perfectly. It's like symphony music, how they go from point to point to point, and everything comes together so great, and it's a very, very satisfying ending for Sherlock fans. Alright guys, that's my review of episode 2. Episode 3, the finale, I have also already watched and will be reviewing soon. My thoughts about that one are pretty different from this one, but we'll get into that later. We do have some more stuff coming up for you guys. Keith's going to be reviewing Patriots Day. Thomas and I will be reviewing the movie Split. That stuff's coming your way, along with some other interesting videos we've got in the works. Thank you guys so much as always for watching Film Vet. Be sure to subscribe and share in the comments with us what you thought about this episode of Sherlock. You guys are the best, and have a great week.